everybody. I hope y'all had a good week. I'm gonna be honest, this has been a rough week in every way imaginable and probably unimaginable. I did have a good birthday, but there's just been a lot going on. I can't even talk about it. So I'll just get into the review. If you're watching this, thank you. Please be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel. All right, Love During Lockup, Sugar Mama Drama, Season 5, Episode 51. I said, here we go. A new set of low self-esteem, desperate dummies. And they're dummies because they call a camera crew to follow them around while making big-ass life mistakes. We all go through self-esteem issues. I don't care how old you are or understanding your self-worth. But to call cameras as you go through it is just a bit much for me. It really is. All right, so let's get to T and Rob. I have no idea where the hell Bayshore, New York is. I just imagine it's on the Bayshore. Anyway, note to self, never date a man named Rob. Every time we turn around, Rob's are causing all of this trouble. Let me fix the light. Rob's are causing all of this trouble in people's lives. Teeny and Rob, R. Kelly, you name I'm sorry, that's not funny. Not because of what happened. I'm just making a point about Ross. Moving on. I do like Tia's confidence. I really do. I didn't think she was all that big though. I mean, I guess plus size, but I mean, as far as I'm concerned, she carries her weight well. Like she's pretty. I get very nervous though when somebody starts talking about a person they've never met and refers to their relationship as divine. I can already, when she said that at the beginning, because honestly, I found their conversation a bit boring when I watched the preview before this episode. And I was just like, this looks very boring. Turns out, Tia's cousin, is married to Rob's brother, I think. It doesn't seem, I don't know if it can't, I don't know if that person identifies as a he or him. I can't tell. So any mistakes I make, please forgive me. All right. Why do y'all keep hooking up y'all's friends and family with people in jail? It's got to be like, let me help make somebody miserable. Be in a relationship with somebody you can't see and then tell them it's for their own good. So he decided, he gives us his little background. Anyway, Rob grew up in a 2-parent household, okay? He said with a lot of love, but not a lot of money. All right, well, welcome, okay? You weren't alone in that. So he said he decided to sell drugs when he was 14. That story never ends well. It never ends well. And honestly, when he said he finally went to jail when he was 24, and that's what he's in jail for now, I was like, damn, you had a good, smooth 10-year run. Gotta go while the getting's good. Anyway, for robbing in the first degree, he didn't even go to jail for drugs. So he served 8.5 years of a 10-year sentence. He has 45 days left. Okay, we get it. All right. He's giving her jail talk. We can tell like all these people. He says to her when he gets out, he wants to have strippers and have fun. Let me tell y'all something right now. And I don't care what anybody else thinks. It's not going to change my mind. Although there may be people that agree with it, and that's fine. You can explain to me 6 ways past Sunday why you think that. I'm just not going to be here for it. Any man bold enough to tell you he's going to a strip club and he's going to have all these other women in his space, I think that is so disrespectful. I don't think men who do that respect the women they're with. And that's not even a read on the woman, but it's a read on Tia, because I'm saying to her right now, run. He is not good for you. He's not. He got to go. He has to go. Okay, and then he says, well, I just need to know, do you want to be a part of it or stay at home? She was like, well, I thought we were going to be spending time together. And he was like, well, I thought the family could come over to the house, this, that, and the other. And she was like, you want your family there and we're going to be doing this and doing that for days straight? And I was just like, this is the problem. Y'all are not married. Y'all are in a jail relationship. And you expect him to not celebrate with his family when he goes out? I'm just saying, like when he gets out, like, I mean, I just don't know what these people are expecting. Okay. But you talking about lap dances and stuff to this woman, I think is personally a form of abuse. That's just me. OMG. Tia's cousin Toya. When I saw them, when they first showed us them, I just knew Tia was kissing another woman. I said, oh, she cheating on Rob with a woman. This is getting good. But why not? But Tia's cousin's wife looks like Tia. Am I the only one that thought that? Anyway, my bad. So her cousin does these tarot cards and is a medium. Y'all know how I feel about that fake psychic bullshit, because that's all it is. Remember the girl that had that Latino boyfriend, and they ended up living with him and his sisters? She was going to a psychic. What's her name? The crazy acne face girl that be bullying. What's his name? What's her name? Troy and Zaria. Okay, another one that went to psychics, and now we got this one. There's been plenty of others. I just can't call them all right now. So her cousin does tarot cards, right? And then her cousin is calling on the Holy Ghost. I said Christians do not believe in tarot cards or psychics. Okay, not to be confused with a prophetic message for the future, because that's what it means to be a prophet, someone that can see in the future. And you usually don't really know they're prophets until they die. Oftentimes when you see something come to fruition, right? Like, so amidst me. All right. So her cousin starts giving her a bunch of information she wants to hear, and then says heal is on the card. No, you know about her past and her abusive relationship, and you up here telling her what she wants to hear. Does it matter? I mean, really, do you really need to talk to a medium, darling, if your cousin already knows your business? What is she doing? Just practicing her scam? Anyway, like, miss me with the foolishness. So I knew it before she said it, though. I could tell that Tia had been in an abusive relationship before. Just something told me that. And whenever you see people breaking down before they can even say I was in an abusive relationship, I'm telling you right now, those people have been through trauma. When they showed her foot in the stitches, I can't imagine what other things that she got done. And it's not as simple to leave, because abusers don't start out abusing. They build to that, and then you constantly think, well, I remember when he was like this. And it really is sad, and I'm glad that she's decided, I'm a big nurse, I have a big body, I'm proud of that, because I can tell you right now, that's exactly where abusers go, for the jugular. Especially, it happens a lot to women, period. Too much. But it certainly happens to overweight women. Particularly when men are abusing them. So Toya is not talking to his mother's restless soul, okay? I don't care what she says. Ma'am, she is not talking to your cousin Toya. All right? And her cousin like, this stuff sounds so wild when you say it and when you watch it. Her cousin is claiming to tell her all this stuff he will be doing, and he's going to move in with somebody else, and it's a female, but it's a family friend. It's nothing for you to be worried about. It sounds like to me the cousin is more worried about her dipping back off into a life where she is unhappy, and she is unhappy because she's being abused and cheated on and stuff like that, instead of just giving her the real. Okay? He has paroled to Brooklyn from Bayshore, New York. And while I'm on it, let's just do this, because I have no idea where the hell at. I'm not a native New Yorker. I've lived here long enough, but nevertheless. All right, so from Brooklyn to Bayshore, New York. How far are they going to be? If this stuff is like an hour away, I'm going to be embarrassed. It is literally only like an hour. I have never heard of this place. So they're going to be roughly an hour, an hour commute, okay, by car. And it says by train, an hour and 41 minutes. But I imagine she has a car. She don't live in the city. Anyway, this is just wild. And then he's like, yeah, I know she's not going to be uncomfortable because it's another female and this, that, and the other. And I'm just like, this, where you parole? And he's right. He cannot presume they were going to live together, so on and so forth. They did not get married in jail. We'll get to them people soon enough. So Toya knows what he's doing. as far as I'm concerned, while she's giving her credit for being like a psychic, knows what he's doing because her wife is related to him. Like, what the hell? She's not saying anything that I couldn't have told her. And I didn't need to interpret no crazy ass wizard pictures off them cards. All right, moving on to somebody I have already made up my mind I do not like. Is this chick, Savannah. All right? Now, I'm going to tell you what I know. I knew when I saw her, it was going to be some bullshit. Okay? So, of course, we get the white girl who wants to appropriate and cosplay blackness. I'm always offended by it. I was never in to that 2000s bullshit, the Save the Last Dance, all that kind of shit. The white girl's the victim, and white people like NSYNC, Backstreet Boys appropriating blackness that they stole from Boys to Men, Drew Hill, and everybody else, and all this other kind of stuff. And my parents didn't let me think that. They were like, they're copying black people. You don't go around worshiping that. So I saw through it, and I was always offended by it. Okay, even now, I went to school with them racist white kids that were still, okay, copying blackness. Anyway, so she works at a country club. I'm like, you super white. All right, borrowing things probably from TikTok. That might be the one good thing that comes out of banning TikTok, is that white people will stop, because I saw somebody saying this today, white people will stop viewing our culture and then borrowing and stealing everything. They'll find another way to do it, but nevertheless, I understood their point. So, and these white women that act black always go and have their permanent relationships with white men. Black men are an experiment to them. They will have children and still say and do racist things and feel empowered to do it just because they had been with a black man. All right, it was painful and cringy to watch. Please go back to 2004. That's where you belong, and stay, okay? They started dating after he was incarcerated, and they knew each other for about 5 years before that, okay? Which we find out is through a drug connection. So I don't care what nobody says. She's sleeping with them old white men at that country club, because you know that's who's there. I can tell you that. All right, I can tell you that right now. I can tell you that's how she got that job. I can tell you when her mother was asking about tips, it has everything to do with the way she looks. Okay? And that's why she's sleeping with them. I don't care what nobody said. I said what I said. So he's in jail for transportation of a firearm and marijuana. Now, they live in Virginia, and you know, those southern states can be very draconian about that. I was like, well, how long he been in there? Anyway, so she claims if he wouldn't have gone to prison and she wouldn't have gone to rehab. I said, rehab? They wouldn't be there. She claims she got on drugs because she was with a recovering heroin addict, and he's black. We saw it with TV. Y'all didn't blot him out that well. And she said she was hurt because she lost access to his daughter, and she turned to drugs. Okay. I think there's more to your life and your story than you're saying, but okay. Am I the only one that clocked that plantation house as soon as they showed it? In former slave land that house is on? This is before I got into the rest of the episode. I said, where the fuck did that? Them white people down south will guard them houses, build them, rebuild them, just like they do them Confederate statues, trying to remind us every time. Now, nobody talks about how unsafe we are in those contexts, right? Being reminded of being people's property for centuries and being abused and mistreated and raped. And then you have people that can say, oh, when people are protesting in the name of protecting Palestinians, then somehow, you know, Jewish people by descent feel so unsafe. I'm like, y'all have no idea what it is to feel unsafe in the same way. These people are protesting to protect somebody, not to, like, destroy you. Anyway, and while y'all have made it clear, not all Jewish people, the Zionists, want to, like, basically obliterate Palestinians. Anyway, so she's been clean off of meth and cocaine for 2 years. I said that's recent. I mean, it's a feat, but it's recent. And she said, but she will always be a drug addict, which is what some people say in rehabs. And then there's other doctors who do say also, yeah, you know, you can recover completely. But you know, I don't think being with a man who sells and enjoys marijuana and other drugs and made his living that way is a good idea for you. I think that's actually going to be disastrous. All right, now I had peeked that plantation house. She goes to her plantation family home. She is 27. She looks a good solid 42. All right, then she said the house was built. Her grandma and mom built the house, and they based it on Thomas Jefferson's Monticello home. I said, here we go. Didn't take me long to get to the root of it. Richmond is the capital of Virginia. Okay, that is what Gabriel Prosser walking and had planned a huge slave revolt to take James Madison hostage and demand that all the slaves in Virginia be free. Okay. And Thomas Jefferson, who was a whole pedophile, and you know where there's 21, 41, 51, who raped plenty of slaves, not just Sally Hemings. And, but he was doing that from the time she was 13, that we know of. Any damn way. So fuck Monticello. That's what I was getting to. So she tells, I said, you motherfucker, you. That shit pissed me off. So no, I don't think anything of Savannah. So the mom starts telling her about her relationship with Bradley. She says she thinks she's in a toxic relationship. And she said, well, why? Why do you think that? And she tells her, when he says, fuck you, motherfucker, and then calls you right back, that's what makes me think it's toxic. I said, well, point made. Then on top of that, we find out Bradley was her weed dealer before. This shit is so, it's just unbelievable. Like, people make bad decisions, but then they call a camera crew to be on TV to talk about how much do these people get paid. I'm not talking about the Brittany and Marcelinos that was on forever. How much do these people get paid? Anyway, so the mom does advocacy work for people going into prison, I guess, to get them prepared for it. Honestly, she did not appear or seem like the kind of person I would want to talk to going and trying to prepare my mind for prison. Honestly, she looked like the lady who would tell me where the now ladies are at the gas station. But okay, girl. Anyway, apparently her mother never said anything about this problematic relationship until now in front of the cameras to her daughter, which is a long ass time to not say anything. And they've been dating for 2 years? They've been dating for a minute. And at one point where she kept, flirting with her drug dealer / boyfriend on the phone, and you knew it, you should have said something. It's a day late and a dollar short. You done given her time to fall in love with this man. She ain't trying to hear that. Anyway. All right, so let's move on. All right, let's do Sam and Crystal. So Sam has moved to Tyler, Texas. He's an EMT. He's asking somebody, and his friend asking, the person if they're okay. I said, first of all, get them goddamn cameras out of my face, okay? Because if I'm not feeling well, I'm not feeling well. Crystal fell in love, she said, with a guy, and he became her husband. And this is her second marriage. Her first marriage, she said she cut her husband across the forehead with a kitchen knife, and she was arrested for aggravated assault and found guilty. I'm going to tell you what I always suspect in these cases is that women who carry out that level of violence, and she said the relationship was toxic, makes me think she was being abused. And I think women think somehow if they fight back, then it's mutually abusive. I just don't. That's just what I suspect. Anyway, Sam said he married his high school sweetheart, and so both of them have been married twice. I was like, damn, when y'all get married? 15? Anyway, and he said they got divorced because he could tell he made her unhappy. I was like, okay, that's a hell of a thing to admit about yourself. He was like, so rather than just sit around and make ourselves miserable, we thought we'd get a divorce. The logic I follow with that situation, everything else missed me. All right, so this dummy said he went on the internet and looked for a pen pal specifically in Texas. I was like, in Texas of all states. And he was like, they're gorgeous and raw. And I was like, they may take it raw. But anyway, Crystal. All right, so Crystal is married to him and jealous. Doesn't want him to go out and do anything. This is why you don't marry people in jail or prison. Okay, y'all can't do shit together. And then the person in jail always wants to regulate your behavior because their behavior is regulated based on whatever they went to jail and or prison for. Rob and Teenie, y'all ain't gonna make me think that relationship is healthy. It's not. All them cameras miss me. All right. So they've been married for 2 years. I don't know how long. Never mind. The other girl has been dating. I don't know how long she's been dating, but whatever. So they've been married for 2 years and have a surface level relationship, she said, because they can't do anything together. No shit, Crystal. All right. So his friend said, to him while they're working in the EMT, he was like, yeah, she calls you a lot. She's always telling you what to do and where you can go and stuff. Do you think, while you're listening to her, do you think she's talking to anybody else? I said, this is his way, Big Head Sam, this is his way of saying she's conning you. And he's trying to bring you to the light without hurting your feelings. But sometimes you got to tell people the truth. But if you hadn't moved to Texas that long ago, this may not be your friend. So he just has to ask questions and hopes you get to the answer. Sam has 7 years. I don't mean to laugh. Has 7 years until her release. Okay. She's up for parole soon, but I have a feeling this may just get cut off. That's why we're going to have these additional people come on, because they're not going to be able to make this. I don't care if this season is only 6 weeks or 6 episodes. All right. So he goes to see Rita. He said it's his best friend in Texas, and the person is Crystal's grandmother. I said, Sam, you are a whole ass fool. You are a whole ass fool. You got on the website, look for a prison pen pal in the state of Texas, just so you can meet. Like, I'm just trying to understand how lost you are and what we have to do to Google map you back to your right damn mind. Okay, because something is wrong. So he said, if he wants Crystal, he has to be able to take care of Rita, because she won't be happy unless he does. Her mother passed away a few months after she had been incarcerated. And I can totally understand that. But he takes the grandma out to eat, grocery shopping, and everything else. He calls the grandmother his second wife. She was like, you sure it's not the first wife? He was like, what? Like, he wasn't catching on. I said, white people are crazy. I'm sorry. Calling somebody's grandma your second wife and all that. And I know people joke, but I'm just like, There's been too many examples, okay? I will direct you to the archives of Jerry Springer. Nevertheless, all right, the grandmother said, well, I thought he wanted me at first, but I know I need to make it clear to him that that was never going to happen. I said, Rita, you didn't think that. You couldn't have. You shouldn't have. And you certainly should not have shared it. All right. Apparently, Crystal is jealous of their relationship. I'm like, okay, so you mad at him if he don't take care of your grandma. And then you mad at him if he has a relationship with your grandmother. Like, she is somebody who is spoiled, emotionally, poorly regulated. And Sam, but you are a whole fool, so I don't feel nothing for you. Then the grandmother was talking to him about, I bet she needs something. She was like, before him, it was always me that she would come to for money. He said he had spent $102,000 on her for the last 4 years. For commissary, for, sanitary products. First of all, I think it is inhumane to not provide those to people in jail or prison. I don't give a fuck what they did. Okay? I don't think people should have to go out of their way and pay for food in jail. They're already in jail or prison. And I think that is absolutely inhumane. Okay? I don't care what the deal is and what. No. Unacceptable. So he said he's terrified to disappoint Crystal. The grandmother knows that Crystal is full of shit. But see, it's her granddaughter, so she ain't gonna tell him. And apparently, Crystal keeps, teasing us with all this information she's keeping from us and from him. We don't care, okay? Because y'all are just fucked up. Anyway, Kate and Hunter. Now, Kate, everything about Kate looked weird and strange. And don't get me started on yoga instructors. But anyway, she's taking her big ass dog to train him. In other words, she has some man doing the training. And he's like trying to say in a nice way, like, she was like, well, I think the dog knows that Hunter is coming. He was like, well, the dog needs more leadership. In other words, stop letting your dog do whatever the hell it wants to do. She said she met Hunter at a Starbucks barista and he was so fine. I am really missing it. All these people have fallen in love with people's jail pictures. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I can understand why Tia was attracted to Rob. I don't understand why she's engaging with him. Anyway, so Hunter was incarcerated. So they did know each other for a little bit. Hunter was incarcerated for getting 3 DUIs back to back to back. I said 3 DUIs back to back to back. And y'all giving Karen hell on Potomac? Miss me. I forget where they're living though. Anyway, so 3 DUIs is not a red flag, according to Kate. Oh, okay, girl. Okay, girl. Okay. So she told her that it's the women. So he told her that it's the women that's the problem. I effed up. And I'm like, what you mean? And why does she know about these women? What's happening? Apparently, he said he's gotten into trouble. He had a couple of visits through the week. And she was like, what visits? Video visits? He was like, yeah, video visits. Because that's all he can do. And apparently, he was like, he went from PG-13 to X-rated real quick. Apparently, I guess, they was doing whatever people do. I have to still be honest, and I'm going to go in on them in a second, but I do think there is also something especially inhumane about the denial of sex for people in jail. I'm sorry. I just think that it's such a part of human nature. And to be looking at their video, what do y'all expect people to do? You know what I mean? Miss me. Who was watching Rob's video calls? Anyway, so she knows he has other women, and she said, that's something I've resigned myself to. I said, what? And then she goes on to tell us she signed him up for a website to be flirty with different women, and now he has 40 different women he talks to and spends money on, and they watching this. I bet you they pissed off. They don't even know who the fuck Kate is or that the others existed. And she said to get him financial support. She said, because I'm a yoga instructor, I don't make that much money. I said, wait a minute, all right? Because I'm going to tell you right now, I'm just like, you are a low down dirty bitch. However, and then she goes on to say she feels sorry for the women, but she can't afford him. And I didn't know what to think other than you a sorry ass bitch for that. But I actually am kind of torn with my feelings and logic. I don't know what to think for her to do that. I mean, honestly, it keeps him from digging in her pockets. Because we've seen how people waste money on people in jail. Then they come out and show them their ass. Do you really think an MF could play me? Do y'all remember that black guy in them colorful suits? He went to go pick up that white girl from the bus station and bought her all that stuff. And she was not feeling him. Didn't want anything to do with him. And then next time we saw her, she was playing in a garden. I guess with the white man she was with. Anyway. It keeps him out of her pockets. But that also makes me think she's a scammer too, though. The fact that you even thought of that is strange to me. So he's getting $2,000 a month. He's probably making more than her. Is he sending her money? You see what I mean? There's a good chance all of these women are expecting to pick him up from jail. Even though he said, well, some of them, are expecting to pick me up from jail. And he's giving jail talk to all of them. Kay, I don't know what makes you think you special. You're like, well, give me their names. I think you need to start talking with them. Is it really worth it? And that's when he was $2,000 a month. And my thing is, I don't even know why that's something you've resigned yourself to. That's pathetic. Because you're already dating a man in jail and you don't have to. Go date your dog trainer or something. So she said these sugar mamas are risking his freedom. I said, no. He's risking his freedom. They're free. They're doing what free people do. Okay? There's no consequences for them. And you set this up. Why are you acting like this? It's just weird to me. She's weird. She's odd, strange, eyes popping out. She's that kind of crazy. And you're a dumb broad for being a part of this knowingly. He's playing all of y'all But she's getting paid from this show. That's why I said she kept him out of her pockets. I don't know if she cares if this even lasts. She didn't seem that hurt. She seemed a little too calm for me. Like Tia wasn't calm with it. Anyway, I wasn't sure if I was gonna review this, but this episode is okay, so it'll keep me intrigued. Anyway, I will see y'all tomorrow for Love Marriage Huntsville, and take it easy.